once I have my data all in the same projected coordinate system, I have the ability to do geoprocessing. And this is where the real power of GIS comes to play. So I removed the unprojected high school polygon, and I created a section of road. I digitized the lake, and I've got houses. Did this in the KML and brought them all in a shape file, and did the projection process so that everything's in the same projection. So I'm going to go up to Vector Geoprocessing Tools and choose Buffer. And I want to create a buffer around the school polygon. So I'm going to go High School 2. I'm going to make a 1,000-foot buffer because my projection is in feet. So that's the units that I'll be working with. And then I want to make sure this goes into my folder. And you can see there's the road and the house and the lake data I created. And I'm going to call it School Buffer 1000. Oh, no space. Okay. Save it and choose OK. And then I'm going to add this to my feature. Now you may have this happen where the buffer comes in and you can't see it. And if you look at your table of contents, these are data layers, and what's happened is that the buffer has ended up under a larger layer. So I'm going to just actually move that up so we can see it. So I have then a 1,000-foot buffer around the edge or the perimeter of the school, and now I kind of want to be able to identify how many houses are within that buffer. And so now I can do a different analysis. Okay, so now that I've got my buffer, I could count these and it'd be pretty easy to count them. But what if I had, several 100,000 points, and there's too many for me to count. And so there's a way to do this that will create a new field or a new vector of just those points. And that's really nice if I really only want to map the points that are in my area of interest or my region of interest. So again, I'm going to go to Vector Geoprocessing Tools, and I want to do what's called a clip. And this is kind of like a little cookie cutter. Excuse me. So the clip layer is actually the cookie cutter shape. So my clip layer is going to be this school buffer. And that should be 1,000 feet, not 100 feet. And then my input is, what am I interested in clipping? And I'm interested in clipping all of the houses. So I want all of the houses that lie within my 1,000-foot buffer. And then again, I have to go find the location. So I'm going to say house, houses within that 1,000-foot buffer. Okay, yes. And what I receive or what I get back from that process is a point file, and you can see it's underneath the buffer, so I can't see that. So I'm going to move it up here to on top of the roads. I'm going to turn off the other houses, and now I have an attribute table of just the houses that are within my buffer. So now that I have the houses within my buffer, I could maybe, if I wanted to buffer that road, so I'm going to buffer the road again, and I'm going to choose the road as my target. I'm going to say 100 feet, and I really mean 100 feet this time, and I'm going to go road buffer 100 feet. And so now I have a 100-foot buffer. And now I could also look at the houses that are within that buffer if I wanted, but we can see there's only one that fits that. So geoprocessing will allow me to buffer an area, a point, a polygon, create my own features of interest, be able to do a clip to select out those features. And then one last geoprocessing tool is, let's say I want to buffer, let me go back to the original houses, and I really want to create a buffer on just a few houses. I'm going to turn off this buffer. I can use my selection tool, so I'm going to click on houses to make that layer active, and I want to select by a rectangle, and I'm going to create a rectangle around those houses. So those features are now selected. If I look at my attribute table, I don't have any attributes with those houses, but you can see that those are the houses that I have selected. I can save these as their own feature now. I could say save as, call them selected houses. Save that. It's by default it's given the projection of all the other data, so I don't have to do that, so I can save that there. And now I have just those selected houses. Let me go add those. So here's my, oh rats, I forgot. Okay, hold on. Did anybody see what I did when I selected those houses? So let me go back to this. Here's where I made my mistake. I didn't say, oh, I know what it was. Here it is. I'm just learning. I didn't save the selection. So if I wanted only those selected houses, I have to choose here, save selection. And then I can do selected houses. You can't overwrite unless you actually go in and remove it. There we go. And now I have just the selected houses as a feature, so I can add those. And those will be just those selected houses. You can also, now that I have a selection, let me remove that. So I have these houses selected. I can also create a buffer of just, come on baby, of just those selected features. So I can say buffer those selected features by 100 feet, and this could be selected house 100 feet. I don't know why this is doing doubles, but it seems to be. Oh, darn it, there I am. So I wanted to do the houses. There we go. Yes, okay. So now I have a buffer of just those selected houses. So there's a lot you can do with this once you get your data in, but the key here is while I can look at my data with different coordinate systems and projections using the enable on the fly, I can't really do much with the data. So the key will be for you to get a projection that works and then make sure you reproject all of the data into the same projected coordinate system. And then one last thing, I'm going to discard that. I have a folder here, and I just wanted you to look at the number of files that were generated as I went through this geoprocessing process. And so every time I create a vector file, so I created a road file, and with that road file, for each Esri shape file, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 associated files. So if I create 5 different buffers, I'm going to have 35 files. So file management begins to be really important for students.